All right, we live.
All right, shalom, shalom.
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 We're the brothers here from GMS Atlanta, coming with the lesson through the Spirit and Power Yahweh Shemyaw Shah. Before we get started, we want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by
Yahweh Ba'Shem.
Yahweh, by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who lead, teach, and rule well. Love and honors to all I can push the word in true faith and sincerity across the four corners. Shalom to you, sincere listeners who listen and subscribe to the men and doctrine of Great Millstone. Like I said, we're a few brothers here from GMS Atlanta Church. We're just talking briefly about current events, things that are going on around the world and also in America. And one topic that we wanted to touch on that we just took a notice of recently is how Esau Edom is dealing with the homeless throughout this coronavirus COVID-19 so-called crisis. So we're gonna bring out a couple articles, get into a few key points of Esau Edom's agenda, and of course, do what we do, tie it to the scriptures of the Holy Bible. So, brothers, have any things to open up with or any opening remarks?
Live.
Okay, so now you can share my screen once I. Once you get to it.
All right.
Yeah, sharing. But
there we go.
I'm just waiting for it to load. Now it's trying to. Okay. So we have an article. 1 second to load. We have an article here from Popular Science website, which is popularSci.com, and it was written yesterday, April 2nd, 2020, the year of prophecy, and it's entitled "Homeless Populations Are Among America's Most Vulnerable to the Coronavirus. People experiencing homelessness are more likely to catch the virus and experience complications from it." Because as has been brought out over the last few weeks, this coronavirus has a greater effect and is more likely to really do grave hard damage to certain sects of the population, including the elderly and those with pre-existing conditions. And of course, the homeless, people who have no real shelter and protection, they're pretty much just out there and exposed to the elements. Was there anything?
I got some. This is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So, when the elect under Yahweh Shai, King David, the 12 apostles, and the rest of the 144,000 are in the kingdom, even the heathens are going to be happy, man. Mm-hmm. All right. It's not going to be any homeless people running the streets, man. All right. Especially if you're an Israelite, man. All right. But now here in Esau's kingdom, you got homeless people in the suburb. Like I just told the brother, I was doing some errands day to day, and there's a shopping mart where me and his brother stay at. You even got homeless people in the suburbs, man. Homeless people just coming out the woodworks, man. So this is definitely not the kingdom to be in, man. Especially with Esau, man. You see a lot more Edomites that are homeless coming off the freeway. You drive off the freeway, you see Edomites. Can I have begging for money or whatnot? This goes to show you that this kingdom is corrupt, man. Because there's homeless people here. You should not be homeless if you're an Edomite, man. But Esau doesn't give a damn about his people, man. And you, like I said, little by little, it's not just a city thing. It's coming to your suburbs. These little cities that you live in, homeless people are there.
Yeah. All right, you have anything?
Yeah, I got some. And another thing too, man. The majority of these homeless in America, they served their country at one point. That goes to show you how. Could y'all hear me?
Yeah, you go, bro. Okay.
Man, even those that so-called serve their country, they make up a big population of the homeless. Now,
Mm.
that's grievous to the Lord, man. It tells you right here in Sirach, the 26th chapter, the
Yeah.
28th verse.
Yep.
It say, there be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffer poverty. That's the point. Hey, a man of war that suffer poverty. There shouldn't be a man of war that suffer poverty. They should be taken care of
Mm-hmm.
by the nation or the country that they represent. And that goes to show you how broken down this so-called kingdom is. Like the brother and I was saying, um, he was saying it don't supposed to be no damn homeless Edomites, and how when the wicked are in rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And that's the way things should be. All right. Just finishing off the verse, it says, "And men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin, the Lord prepares such a one for the sword."
Yeah, come.
You went back to my screen.
Yeah, went back to your screen.
Okay. Con, yeah, hey, Con, bro, the water. You had any more on that?
That was it.
Okay, Con. So I'm just continue on in the article. If you brothers got anything, as I read, just throw it in there. Continue on the article. It says more than 500,000 people living in the United States are experiencing homelessness. So that's 500,000 people right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
It says every one of them is at a dramatically increased risk in this pandemic. This is true across the board. They're more likely to catch the virus, to experience complications, and to die from it. See,
Mm-hmm.
it says
Mhm.
they're more likely to catch the virus, so they're more likely to actually, come in contact with and obtain the virus, to experience complications. So they have other things, conditions that actually affect or are affected by them having the virus, and to die from it. So they're more likely as well to also perish and eventually die from this virus as well.
Yeah, because to answer your point, these hospitals, especially these local county hospitals, man. There's a local county hospital here in Atlanta. I'm not gonna name no names, but okay.
Shit, name it.
All right, Grady Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, man.
Epic.
All right, Grady Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, man. From my experience working there, they take homeless people, they take them in. All right, these are the same people you see on the train, on the bus, that staggering, they on a strong drink, they bugged out, but they take them into these hospitals and check them out. And then at the back of the hospital where they get the ambulance at, they have this like tent city in the back. So my time working there, I tried to ask hey Shalom, I try to ask people, hey, what's going on back there? Jake, security guard, they can't give me no answers, but they would take these people. There were literally people across the street on the Georgia State property of this hospital, and basically they would be here today, gone tomorrow, and then tomorrow they would be back on the streets. They would take these people, and they were doing something to them. I can't really call it, but they would take these people, do some type of experiment, like that movie Venom, man, where they was taking people out of nowhere and experiment with them, man. So Esau is doing something to these homeless people, man. And there was a report years ago back in North Carolina that they were giving these homeless people the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast.
Mm-hmm. Kind. Just continuing on in the article. Should I make it a little bigger? It says as COVID. Oh no, go up a little bit. It says this. It says the scope of the interventions needed to make sure this doesn't happen is difficult to fully define, but experts say the need is immediate and likely to get larger as we weather this crisis and the economic downturn that comes with it. See, that's nothing as well. Matter of fact, somebody hold that, James 5. The economic downturn that's coming along with this crisis, man. Okay, because the way in which a government deals with the most downtrodden, the most down and out of their society is a big reflection of the ability that government has to actually care and tend for their masses and for their population. Read that, James.
From the top.
Okay, you read from the top.
All right, this is James 5:1. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Right. It says, "Go ye, howl and weep for the miseries that shall come upon you," because, like I said, the way in which a government or rulers or a king, in which they actually care for the most the down and out, downtrodden, really the most overlooked and undercared for individuals in their kingdom, is a big reflection of the ability of that kingdom to actually care for the masses of their population. So you really don't, bro. You really don't want a bunch of homeless people. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about too with the whole concept of globalism and global and worldwide travel. Even though things are being shut down right now, we don't know how long it's going to be shut down. It might eventually open back up. We don't really know how it's going to play out in the long run. But the whole concept and idea of globalization and the ability for these different countries to be connected, be intercontinental, so to speak, what I'm saying, is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? But and with that globalization and that connectivity, that's all what connections, transactions, and ultimately commerce. It's an economy. Go ahead.
Verse 2, your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten.
Yeah, your riches are corrupted, okay, because this whole system in which you have access to other countries for trade, for resources, a lot of the goods that most of the goods that Americans purchase in their local and nationwide stores come from other countries. They're outsourced, they're manufactured in other countries, shipped to America, and they're consumed by the American masses. Because Esau Edom has constructed a system through the Federal Reserve Bank, through fractional reserve lending, in which he's inflated and propped up this economy, but it's all on it's a faulty measures and whatnot.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
The gold and silver is cankered, man, meaning it's no longer pure. Meaning that the United States came off of the gold standard, okay, and the money is pretty much backed by oil, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's the what's the word for it again? The currency being backed by oil, petrodollar. It's a petrodollar system in which the dollar is pretty much backed by the trade of a resource, but that resource it doesn't stay and remain. You know what I'm saying? Gold, pretty much, you get it, you harness it, you process it, you purify it, you validate the purity of it, and you stock it up. Like, it does have uses. You know what I'm saying? You can actually use it, but the main purpose and the main reason of creation of gold and precious metals and things of that nature is to serve as money. You know what I'm saying? But Esau, through his lies, treachery, and deceit, has created a system propped up and inflated, but it's all fake and phony, which is why it's cankered and corrupt. All right, you got anything?
Fly.
You keep reading, bro.
All right, James 5:3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you.
And that's a witness against this devil, man. That's a witness against this devil that his system is falling apart, because here it is, the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Hawashai, hit America with a little plague, a little corona. And it damn near brought Esau Edom's system down to his knees, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Continuing on, it says, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days.
Yeah, and ultimately, it's going to all end. The punchline of this comedy of a kingdom known as America is going to be destruction by ICBM thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, that's where Yahweh Shai, his saints, the elect, in which we are, call ourselves the hopeful elect, because we're watching as well as praying and doing our best to make our bodies and our service a living sacrifice before Yahweh Shai. But the ultimate punchline for this queendom is going to be destruction.
That's right.
Exactly.
We plan on getting a nice hearty laugh in that day.
Okay.
Anybody got anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick point. Here it is. America is under a stay-at-home shelter. Stay at home. So what does that mean for the homeless? Okay, they're not considering that part of the population because they feel that they're expendable.
Right.
So they're setting up stipulations in which those that have homes and money to buy goods and things of that nature, they're worried about them to a point where the homeless has really becoming forgotten. And those are probably going to be the most cases that they get because they can't practice social distancing. You know, they can't go in a home and shelter themselves from the elements. This is Sirach 4 and chapter 4. It says, "Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from the poor man." And that's what America is doing in a time in which the poor man, you know, speaking physically or carnally poor, needs them the most. You know, they're throwing them to the damn fire, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's all, you know, according to Esau's plan, which we're going to get into later on in the lesson.
Right.
yeah, Salakia, man, if I could mention too, Americans about one paycheck away from being homeless, man. So
Exactly.
we're not talking about just the guy that's just, asking for $1 and he ain't shaved, well, not shaved, but he ain't took a bath in weeks. We're talking about the average American family because you got a lot of Americans that are living in their vans or their cars. All right, let's not forget about those people as well. It ain't just the guy that's just asking for $1.50. It's some families that's out here too in America as well, man.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Even brothers
Yeah,
got any
those
It's like,
those Americans that are doing Uber and living out their car, those people are hurt right now, man.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, they're not being considered in a time like this.
that's true, bro. Because especially in certain areas in certain cities, like Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a very big gig economy based off of tourism of people coming to Las Vegas, man. So you got some people who can actually make a good living just being an Uber or a Lyft driver or doing Postmates or doing these app-based businesses or app-based gigs because of the nature of that economy is just constantly churning. All you gotta do is get a little piece of that pie, you know. And like we said, Yahweh Bashim How Shah just through this one plague, just allow this one plague to touch America, and it threw a big wrench in this whole system.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get into a little bit of the Georgia Guidestones, in which I know a lot of brothers are familiar with this monument. But I just want to bring it out for those who may not be familiar with it. So this right here, we're on Wikipedia.org. Oh, it's probably that. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Maki Yapa, Shemya Shabakathon.
Hey, Shalom. How about you? I don't know who's that feedback. I don't know who microphone that is.
It could be correct.
Yeah, okay.
Cross, like you might have to mute your mic until you're gonna say something.
Sound better?
That sounds better.
I bet. So this is just from Wikipedia.org. Like I said, going into Georgia Guidestones. It says the Georgia Guidestones are a granite monument erected in 1980 in Elbert County, Georgia, in the United States. A set of 10 guidelines is inscribed on the structure in 8 modern languages, and a shorter message is inscribed at the top of the structure in 4 ancient scripts. So I'm just going to scroll down to the main point here. So this was it looks like erected in 1980, which is about 40 years ago.
Yep.
But going into the description, which is going into the inscriptions, it says a message consisting of a set of 10 guidelines or principles is engraved on the Georgia Guidestones in 8 different languages. One language on each face of the 4 large upright stones, moving clockwise around the structure from due north. These languages are English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindu, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. So these pretty much are the languages they say don't last, because it's important enough for them to inscribe those languages on this monument. But the first of the 10, what they say, guidelines and principles is number one, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So they're telling you right now that they want to eradicate estimated 6 billion people.
That's right.
They estimate that there's roughly about 7 billion people on Earth. So they said that they wanted to just go ahead and just chop that number on down, 500 mil. Real quick, I'm gonna grab this precept. This is from the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring peace upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." See, and that's what's going on. See, Esau, Edom, with Yahweh Shai opening up the Holy Spirit to particular men on earth, and especially in the last 10, 15, 20 years, a lot of truth has just hit, the airwaves, so to speak. Just, a lot of things with, it may not necessarily be just particularly, come through the men and messengers of Yahweh Shem elect, but just the spirit of truth is more heavy and more prevalent on earth. And which even this is a truth of, the so-called Illuminati, the elite banking families of the nation of Esau Edom. If they want to, a part of their new world order agenda is to depopulate the world to roughly 500 million people. Right? Does anyone have anything to add?
I got a precept right here. This is Second Ezra 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection of those that fear the Lord. They should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold and fire. So Esau is not going to spare, man. All right, especially for a lot of jakes that say they're Israelites, but you're not following the right doctrine. Man. It's imperative to follow the right doctrine and to get it while the getting is good, man. Because the doors of repentance is like shutting like real close, man. Esau's about to make it move. Here in Georgia, today was like the curfew for a mandatory shelter in place for the whole state of Georgia. And by 6 o'clock, you're supposed to be in your homes. Who knows what Esau is doing right now, man? It takes troops and tanks throughout the city, man. So you never know what's going on with this devil, man. This is his last hurrah, man.
Yeah.
And I just want to make a quick point. And then also, Esau Edom has ways to track these people, man. Mm-hmm. Even there was an Amber Alert that came out the other day, to phones. Yeah. And I said, man, I have a phone that has no internet service. Mm-hmm. No internet service, wasn't connected to Wi-Fi. And it still hit that phone. The Amber Alert still hit that phone. So Esau got a way to just track everybody. Everybody's so connected to these phones and devices that's pretty much your on-body tracking device. But it's like you can get to a point that for people who are untrackable, or it's just bucking against the system and the movement of Esau moving, unless you protected by the spirit and mercy and grace of Yahweh Shai, he gonna just roll over you, man, because he don't give a damn about you. He plans on killing the majority of the masses of people on earth.
I got a quick precept for you.
Okay.
This is Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 16. It says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief."
That's a good one. Huh?
Their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to rest. So, like the brothers going into, basically, Esau's plan. They've been working on this since the beginning of their rulership, man. And it's come out, that the men of the Lord is basically revealing their plan, and basically, whether we know, exactly, every step or, exactly every step that Esau is going to take or not, hey, the prophecies are coming to pass, man. And we can see that clear as day, man. Y'all brothers got it.
You got anything?
La.
Kind. So I'm gonna continue reading on in the Georgia guidelines description area of this Wikipedia. This is principle number 2: guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. So what does that mean? They want to be in control of your rod and your sperm, man, your
Right.
seed. They want to be in control of who you put your seed in.
Yeah.
It says, "God, this is." They wrote this.
Mhm.
We didn't. We did not erect this monument with these statues on it.
If I can say, like, I think I think Iraq was with the main brothers when Apostle Rambab and heads of our camp went to the Georgia Guidestones.
Mm-hmm.
That so-called constructed it was this guy called R.C. Christian or something to that nature. I probably chopped the name up, but this is all the plans of the elites. They put a name to make it look like it was just some guy who constructed this. Nah, man, this is the plan of the elites, man, and people just go there like it's just some tourist guide. No, this is really a plan that they have to reduce the population for their so-called New World Order.
Yeah.
You're starting to see that now under the Georgia Guidestones, what they're doing with this coronavirus, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
if I could just add real quick too, because we brothers always mention it's funny, that this whole coronavirus thing and the quarantine happened the year that they doing the census, so they can keep track of these people, man.
Mhm.
And what the people is basically getting led straight to the slaughter, man. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Quick precept.
Kind.
This is Revelations chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out a horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And back when Isaac was given the blessings, uh, Esau was given the sword, and he's used that sword to take peace from the earth, man. And Georgia Guidestones is just another example of how he plans on doing so. All right, he uh this guy, man, he's so crafty. When it speaks about sword, it's just not a blade or a gun. Now he has pestilence he puts out, man. He
Mhm.
controls different things in the economy to keep the poor and make the rich richer. He has all type of things, man, um, that he's weaponized and used against the masses of the people in order to hoard his riches and push his ideology on the masses.
That's right.
Yep.
I got a precept from the comment board from the brother Vessel. Uh, Second Thessalonians 2:4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is a God. And that's right, man. Esau has this God-like complex, but the scripture saying with Daniel 4:17, he's the basis of man. So the Lord raised the devil up to rule over us for a punishment, but it's gone too far in his head, man. This nigga thinks that he's gonna overtake the world. And I got another one from the brother Yakinan from Memphis. Shalom, Mark.
Hey, Shalom, Mike.
Shalom, Mike.
Shalom, shalom.
This is Job 20:23. When
Yeah.
he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating. So when he thinks he's gonna get busy, man. He's gonna get busy on Jake. He's gonna get busy with most of the population. So when he thinks he's gonna, like the movie with Thanos. That's what he thinks he's gonna do. He thinks he's gonna reduce the population, and he's gonna sit there and be like, this is a good day. I killed. No, man. The Most High is gonna intervene by sending His son Yahweh, man. And that's why they got Space Force for, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also the elders Ariala and Ricari Kwam from Dallas and London went into how they're using these satellites too to increase their 5G production.
Oh yeah.
So that's another reason why they're shooting these satellites.
Yeah, that's why the scriptures tell us to not be ignorant in Satan devices.
Mm-hmm.
Because this stuff is just not out here for no reason, man. It's all a part of Esau's plan. You know.
Mm-hmm. Am I got anything?
Yeah, I got something if ain't nobody have nothing.
You can bring it.
God, this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." You know, so Esau's plan, and he's about to come full force with his plan, man, because he see the end of his rulership, man. You know, he's the dollar is no longer worth anything. You know, he see that he doesn't have the same power as he did before, so he's coming down with his plan, man. Which is what like the brothers is going into it, the Georgia Guidestones. You know, is bring the population down, man. You know, and it's gonna be through the chip too. You know.
Yep. Kind. So I'm gonna keep going into more about the Georgia Guidestone. This is point 3. It says unite humanity with a living new language. That living new language is slavery and submission to Esau Edom's New World Order agenda, man. That's the language we're talking about. And that's why I said we're going into this really because this is all BS, man. These are things in which, you know, we're not the only ones who know about the Georgia Guidestones. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and then also it's written in 8 different languages. So this is a international, worldwide movement of these, you know, connected people who are actually collectively using their energy to move in this direction.
Share your screen.
Nah, then you gotta share it because it was kind of blurry.
All right.
Point 4. It says rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. How you gonna rule passion and faith and tradition?
What's wrong with this guy?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said we're gonna go in this definition, because it don't make any sense.
Right.
We're gonna rule passion, faith, and tradition, and all things with tempered reason. So they want to just eliminate spirituality in essence. They want to eliminate spirituality, and they want to pump passion and faith and tradition. That's BS because everything that they establish is all deception and lies.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get a quote from the bishop. He put in the group text. This is from David Rockefeller, the so-called devil that died 2 years ago. It says, "We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order." This is from David Rockefeller at the United Nations Business Conference, September 14th, 1994. And this is the right time for these devils to get it in with this coronavirus, man, because these people are shook, man.
Yeah.
Continuing on, it says point 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Now, when in America, in Babylon, has it ever been fair laws or just courts for Jake?
Yeah, I haven't been, man.
Yeah. Name one time.
You still got Jake getting out from 30 years ago from a misdemeanor. You still got Jake getting out of jail nowadays, man.
And from stuff in which they were set up to be pretty much the fall person for that community and that crime that they didn't commit.
And
Yeah. Dude serving 30 to life for drug charge that Esau put in the neighborhood.
Right.
Exactly. The Esau dropped the bag of crack and said to hit the Jake. You know what I'm saying?
Esau, man.
Jake is talking about that ain't mine. That ain't mine.
Well, you had the top aide for Richard Nixon that said the war on drugs was against blacks and hippies, man. So you add one and one together, man.
Yeah. Continuing on point 7, it says, and how you gonna mix all this stuff into depopulation down to 500 million? You know how much work and energy it would take to depopulate the earth to 500 million? Just to count the people alone, to count 500 million people takes a long time. Right.
Hey, that's why the Lord said he just gonna step in.
Right.
Because Esau got this weird ass plan. The Lord just was like, hold on, man, it's not gonna work. Now, hey, that's when the second edge of 6 and 9 gonna come into play, man.
Oh, you can grab it.
Oh, go ahead.
Also, you can grab it.
Oh, I'll grab it. I'm here. This is second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. So like it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. You know, so that's what Esau's, rulership, when it ends, that's when the true rulership, is going to take place. Pursuing what? Sirach, the 10th chapter, man.
That's
Know
right.
about the Lord is going to, roughly paraphrasing, the Lord is going to give the earth to one who is
Profitable.
Yeah, profitable, man.
Mhm.
Which is who? The Israelites, man. Start with Yahweh, while Yahweh shot on down, man.
Mhm. Okay. Rock, you got anything?
Fly.
So continuing on point 7, it says, avoid petty laws and useless officials. It was they're the most useless officials, man. Esau, the senators and congressmen and the Supreme Court justices and the head of HUD and the head of FEMA and the head of all these government organizations, they are the most useless of officials.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's just hilarious. It's hilarious at the end of the day to think that this devil, that the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shai, let's look at that in Daniel, man. The Most High ringing from the kingdom of men.
Oh, Daniel 4:17.
Mm-hmm. It's just really hilarious to think that the Most High, Yahweh Shema Shai, has actually convinced Esau Edom in their own mind that not only can they accomplish this matter, but they are not the actual people who they're writing their own case against. They are the ones creating and writing petty laws, and they are the useless officials, but they chose to write this in their own manifesto, what they're going to do on the earth.
Right.
Read that, bro.
A quick precept before you grab that, bro.
You got it.
Go ahead.
Obadiah, verse 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be deceived, bro, to think that you can put all of these things in the work and the Lord not intervene. This shit don't even make sense, man. Esau's a big goddamn weirdo.
Right.
And that's all due to his pride. He's going to fight to the very end to establish this weak-ass new world order, man.
Right. Esau is the big dummy.
Yeah, he's a big dummy. Hey, man, let me speak about big dummy. Let's speak about this Georgia governor, man. Who
Oh, my God.
Hey, let me y'all brothers speak on him, man.
Bro, what this nigga been for the last 3 months?
Right.
He said he didn't know that the coronavirus could be transmitted through asymptomatic people. He just found that out 24 hours ago. Like, nigga, what the fuck you been?
Like, nigga.
Esau at home, not doing his at-home courses, man.
Exactly.
He ain't doing his at-home homeschooling courses, man. Esau need to get up. He needs to get up on the game, man. The minute of the Lord, like out here pushing harder than ever, man.
God.
Read that, bro. Was that interrupted? Any more on that?
No.
Okay.
Obadiah, verse 3, it says, the pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Hey, verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, i.e., the Space Force, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. Hey, it's going to be a major intervention, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you brothers ever seen that show on A&E, Intervention?
Yeah.
They get everybody in the room,
Uh-huh.
and then Esau walked through the door, and he got a major intervention he never thought he was running into. He thought he was finna go get his next high.
Right.
Next thing you know, he checking into rehab. Goddamn.
Right.
That's how it's gonna be when the Lord step in, man. He got to stop this guy.
God.
All right, this is Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the Holy One, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai ruleth in the kingdom of men.
See to the intent or the purpose that the living should know, that those who have the breath and life and inspiration and understanding given to us by Yahweh Shem John the Holy Spirit, that we should know this thing to be a fact, man. Go ahead.
Continue on. It says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Oh, we got to get this up.
All right, it's Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by
By
the
the decree of the watchers, by the decree of the seers, and really the servants and the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. By that. Go ahead.
And the demand by the word of the holy ones.
And the demand by the word of the holy ones, man. Okay, these words, like I said, that we have the testimony and the ability to bring out a particular level of edification and to blow the trumpet and be a warning to our people. That's what we do. That's what we're commanded and we're called to do through the same word that gives us our blueprint and how we live our life and conduct from day to day. Go ahead.
Okay.
It says, to the intent that the living may know.
To the intent that the living may know. All right,
that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men.
That the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh, rules in the kingdom of men. So even with all these kingdoms, because even with this, you got the elites, the American elites of Esau, Edom, okay, who are jockeying and fighting for a position, okay, to be the champions, all right, to wear that championship belt of victory, to place their American flag or the one world order flag on top of the new kingdom rising from the ashes. That shit ain't gonna happen, man.
Yeah, that's why these Atlanta, they got that Phoenix statue because they think it's gonna rise from the ashes of World War III and establish the new world order.
Right.
Ain't gonna happen, Jack.
Got anything else on that? Or was it point?
Let me finish out. It says, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over the basis of men.
So y'all just holding this power for a hot second. This hot second that y'all been able to hold this power and hold this scepter and to rule and have the fatness of the earth and control the people and spread your wickedness and destroy the earth and the world and the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahweh's creation. It's you're not even gonna remember. It's gonna be like a fighting thought in the kingdom of heaven, man. Because as soon as you begin to have that thought of this little shit, we're gonna bust you right upside your head.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, brothers, anything?
Yeah, I got something. This Proverbs chapter 12. I'll start at verse 5. It says, the thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. The words of the wicked are to lie and wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand. So like the brother obviously that was going into, man. Hey, whatever Esau's plan or whatever he's thinking, it's gonna come to naught, man. Why? Because the Lord said so, man. It's time for righteousness, to rule the earth, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the direction that you're trying to go into, with this whole new world order thing and the chip, it's wicked, man. You got robots doing all the work. The people got has a chip inside of their body. It's just wicked. It's just all out wickedness, man. It's time for the Lord said that hey man, hey, he's putting his foot down. It's like that's it, man. That's why in the kingdom you gonna be doing hard labor work, man. You ain't gonna have to have no chip to do no work, man. You gonna walk to that rock, you gonna pick that rock up, man. And it's simple, man. Esau always trying to be complicated and deceitful, man.
Kind of. Rock, you got anything?
Lie.
I'm not. Can you get that precept on board, bro? Precept? I put it in the. This one.
Oh, Yakinan?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is for the GMS Memphis Yakinan. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
Righteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And that's exactly what's happening. That's this precept lines aligns perfectly with what's written in James the 5th chapter, man. Going to the rich man howling and weeping because his treasures are being found to be faulty treasures, man. They're the shitty consolation prizes of your people being in rulership. It's the dregs of the kingdom, and it ain't even the good dreg because you ain't even taste none of the wine.
Right.
That's something right quick.
Okay.
This is Isaiah chapter 60. I'm sorry, verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. Now, this stranger is talking about the heathens. And the son of thy strangers shall build up thy walls, and the king shall minister unto thee. And that word minister, I believe the Hebrew word is sharaf, which means to serve unto thee. But in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Verse 11, therefore thy gate shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their king may be brought. And that forces means their wealth, man. So everything that they took from us, these niggas gonna bring it back to us, man. Okay. Verse 12, it says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. All right. And that's what it's going to be for you other nations, man. If you don't serve us, that's your ass, man. Pursuant to Revelation 2 and 26 and 27, man, we're going to rule over you with a rod of iron, man. And that's going to be literal rod of iron, man. So, you know, like you mentioned, man, he thinks he's about to bring about his new world order, man. He's going to be sadly mistaken, man.
Yeah. And then he's going to be sadly mistaken, and then he's going to wake up from that dream with a rod of iron squarely against his cranium.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna what's up?
Hey, I was just looking at this this article that Abu put in the group chat about it was about basically landlords and rent offices demanding they rent. All right. And what's the title of the lesson, man? The homeless and the coronavirus. Once these people are put out or evicted because they're under the false notion that, you know, they can't be evicted. But I was reading an article the other day that's only for those on housing assistance. All right. If you just straight out paying your rent every day, you're still subject to those payments. That goes to show you how wicked this rulership is, man.
That's right.
You know, here it is. You've collapsed the economy. You've put this disease out here, and you still how do you expect somebody to pay something that they don't have?
Exactly.
Unemployment rate is through the roof. You know what I'm saying? So you still expecting people to make these certain payments. That's going to add to the homeless population, man. And you're going to further expose those people to the elements in which you see is harmful to them.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna see more people living in their cars, man, as the years go by, man. Like the what is that Edomite, man? We seen this thing, man. How it shall end or something like that. When the Edomite was telling the story of the well-to-do upper well-class Edomite family that was taking these expensive piano lessons. They lived in a nice house, but as time went by, they kept gradually getting stripped of everything. Then all of a sudden, this well-to-do Edomite, he was living in the back of his car and he shot himself because everybody else died, man. So that's what it's coming to for so-called white America, man. You're gonna have a lot of immigrants out here that had these $100,000, $200,000 jobs, and all of a sudden they're gonna go back to being the base of the earth, man. You know? Meanwhile, we're gonna be eating, man. Like it says in the 65th chapter, man. Your servant shall eat, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump back to this article. Can I share my screen again? It might be blurry, but I just want to see how it turns
It's
out.
good enough.
So this is continuing on with brothers in the spirit had us jump right back to this homeless population crisis, man. So continuing in the original article that we started with from Popular Science, it says getting everyone indoors is a key first step. Researchers say as that would prevent potential contact with people who might be infected with the virus. The report estimates that the total cost of getting everyone indoors would be $11.5 billion annually. See, now this is where you gotta call Esau out on his bullshit, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you read this article, if you just read these two sentences, right? The report estimates that the total cost of getting everyone indoors would be $11.5 billion annually. That sounds like a lot of money, right? But this nigga Esau just dropped 2.2 trillion.
The guy from
Come on, man.
$1 trillion, bro. Esau just dropped $2.2 trillion into the U.S. American economy.
God.
They could very easily pay to build shelter for all the homeless. That would be a drop in this bucket, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But they're going to the lies. They're going to the lies of Esau Edom. Because if Esau Edom was really about this, his own agenda is working against him. That's why this is hilarious. Because if Esau Edom was really about the life and work of the gods, other than like the depopulation and other things, the principles, so to speak, of the Georgia Guidestones, he would just pay the $10 billion and go ahead and put the homeless people up.
Hey, I was saying something. I forget what percentage they said, but it was a small percentage of Jeff Bezos like income. If he giving out into like the America, it was just I think it was like not even 1% of his income, and basically just give it out to the people in need. He'll still be a billionaire, and
Right.
America wouldn't even have no homeless people, man.
And
So that's just one person.
And think about it, Esau unrighteous decrees. Jeff Bezos got divorced. His wife, they filed for a divorce. She got half of his shit.
Right.
He got all this money. According to the scriptures, if a man and woman go their separate ways, they're not supposed to leave with nothing.
Right.
So if she left with nothing, this crisis hit, the government and the king, DJ Trump went to, Jeff, like, hey, JB, let's hold a little something.
Right.
Cut a deal. everything good and gravy, man. But that's not how it is, man. It's all going to Esau Edom's lies, robberies, and deceits, man. Ecclesiastes 10th chapter, man. Esau be blowing smoke up your ass, man.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And his people be believing it.
Yeah. Hey, and I was gonna say, Salakia, bro. It also goes back into that James, the 5th chapter that we just tied into. This guy heaping all this silver and gold, fucking hoarder. When if he was really about the people, he would disperse it amongst everybody and have his kingdom well set, man. And that money that he puts out to the people, it'll automatically come back if everybody is in a good estate.
Absolutely.
You won't have to worry about pumping $2 trillion fucking dollars into the economy if everybody had a set amount of money that they sitting on for emergency times, man.
Exactly.
And then you even had in which a lot of times Esau makes he frames his laws and legislations off of biblical principles, but then he just contorts it in a way that benefits him. You're supposed to have like periodic, I believe it's every 7 years, you're supposed to have periodic just years of forgiveness. They're supposed to have to leave. I believe every like 50 years. Yeah. See, and Esau basing like his bankruptcy laws, they stick on your report. They say for like 7 to 10 years.
Yeah,
that's based off the script. You know what I'm saying? But Esau so greedy that he don't want to do that even with the land Sabbath. Instead of just adhering to the land Sabbath and growing your crops and produce according to the scriptures, he just want to just grab some land and just maximize production on that and just burn the land.
Yeah.
So just like with every 50-year jubilee, you're supposed to forgive all debt. He doesn't do that because he actually has to release the people. He never wants to release control now that the power is put in the course of his hand. But you know, watching that snatch the control right out of his hand when he, like it was written in the book of Job, goes to fill his belly. Anybody got anything?
No, I know.
All right, finishing up, we're going back to the Georgia Guidestones. This is point number 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. Balance personal rights. If Esau stripping the citizens of the personal rights. And those social duties, according to Esau Edom's Doctrine and world order is you being a complete and utter slave, accepting the rations and whatever he gives you, and continuing to maintain him in power and rulership.
That was number 8.
Yep.
Can you go back to number 7 right there?
Point number 7 from Georgia Guidestones, it says, avoid petty laws and useless officials.
Now, we know before he is trying to establish this so-called New World Order, there's going to be a lot of summary execution on the streets, man.
Mm-hmm.
The judge and the jury out in the streets, man. There ain't going to be no, I didn't know. It's going to come to a point where, Jake is out here. They're not going to be able to ban these curfews, all right, because Jake don't give a damn. All right, we live here in Atlanta, man. Jake, from the east side to the west side to the south side, Jake don't care. But Esau's going to have to apply that pressure where he's going to have to use summary execution, just like old boy Duterte over in the Philippines. He said, shoot him dead.
Yeah.
That's summary execution, man. So they're going to avoid petty laws and youth officials, okay, by summary execution, man. But they're not going to achieve the New World Order, but you're going to see some of that happen before, the Lord comes back through summary execution.
They're going to do that because it's going to be way cheaper to put a bullet through you niggas' heads versus to feed y'all crusty asses.
That's right.
That was that?
No, I don't have that.
Okay. Going back to the Georgia Guidestone points and principles. Principle number 8: balance personal rights with social duties. And you already went over that. Point number 9: why Esau's the devil, man. Esau is a crafty devil, man. It says prize truth. Matter of fact, I ain't share my screen. Let me share my screen. I gotta let me go back to it. Oh my bad. I gotta stop it. Okay, point number is it up? It's all good. It says point number 9. It says prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. What the fuck does that mean, man?
Come on, man.
just in the jump, just in prize truth, you know the rest is complete bullshit. Which Esau don't. His only value of truth is him knowing it, so he can contort it and twist it to lie and make it benefit him.
And manipulate, man.
And cast utter darkness amongst the people. That's why the American population is so simple and dumb.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It says prize beauty, love, which Esau don't love nothing, man. And he destroys everything that's beautiful.
He don't even love his own people. Like we mentioned from the beginning, you got a lot of homeless Edomites, man. He don't give a damn about these.
Right.
You could have been a war veteran. You could have been some Edomite that was serving the Vietnam War or the war in Iraq or the war in Afghanistan. He don't give a damn, man.
Right.
I don't give a damn about these people, man.
And I got a definition for infinite. It means eternal or limitless. Now we know Esau's not going to be here eternally, man.
Right.
All right. So this nigga is just really got a godlike complex that think he's going to be around here forever, man.
Right.
He's not. And that infinite, it says he's seeking harmony with the infinite. That infinite is Satan, man. That's that. What's the most infinite left-handed power? Satan.
Mm-hmm.
But they trying to think, even like they even think we're gonna find a way to never die, like in the flesh. And motherfucker, you bound to the flesh. The flesh is gonna always die. You dumb,
right?
Son of a bitch. That's just dumb to think you're gonna always live in the flesh. It don't even make sense. The flesh is bound. Your spirit is bound to your flesh 120 years.
Exactly.
But they think they're gonna be able to either continuously put other people's organs in their body to keep their body going, or become some form or essence of cyborg in order to fuse man and machine, or put their consciousness into some machine to then put it in another body so they can. Yeah, they actually think this type of stuff.
Yeah, they think that they're the most high. The scriptures say. They think they're a God, man. Little do they know, and they gonna be in the kingdom of heaven in them same old, wrinkled up, broken bones, in them same bodies, man.
That's right.
Doing hard labor, man.
Surrounded with men and people of spiritual power.
Yeah, whooping your ass.
Whooping that ass, man. Busting that cranium to the white meat shows.
Right.
And then going into point in principle 10, be not a cancer. This is what Esau the devil, man. Esau wrote this. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. He's such a devil. He wrote it twice.
This man said, "Be not a cancer on the earth." Like, bro,
Right.
it's a little bit too late for that, man.
Esau is the cancer of the earth, man. He was
Yeah.
created to be the cancer of the earth, man.
Hey, if he gonna do that, he might well commit suicide. Then he'll solve that issue. You can scratch that off the list, goddamn.
But that's actually what they're gonna do. These Edomites, beginning with these Russians, man, gonna link up with these Moabites, these Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna realize how much that they hate this war. They're gonna be able to turn the American allies, the UKs, the Great Britains, the Indias, the Canadas, to a certain extent, even though Trump be talking cash shit about him and is hell bent on doing this wall, which he ain't built. That was Trump's main calling card in his run to being nominated. Build that wall. Build that wall.
So stupid. They would actually build a wall because of this coronavirus now. Well, we don't want those Mexicans coming up here because they got the coronavirus. You haven't seen that many instances of coronavirus in Mexico, man.
Yeah,
right.
They still down there playing Liga MX soccer and all that stuff down there, man. But these dumbass Edomites and these 2/3 who vote for Trump, like what's them two nigga women that vote for Trump, Silk and Diamond, whatever the hell their name is. They'll be the same ones that be like, yeah, we need to build that wall, man. That goes to the pride and the arrogancy of Babylonians, man.
That's because they loud and they can eat shrimp and bacon and pig's feet. And Esau just allowed them to be brute beasts in their time in America, man. That's why they love Trump. That's why they love their daddy Trump.
Yeah.
Their daddy Trump is going to allow his troops and his goons, my goons, are going to run and clean the streets of America. And clean the streets of America includes them busting the skull caps and skull cavities of people and niggas like that.
I got something right
there.
Go ahead.
Psalms 82:5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So how the hell you gonna try to? We'll go back to that one. Be not a cancer on the earth. The whole earth is out of course, man. You got animals beaching themselves. You got trash in the Pacific Ocean that's twice the size of Texas. You got chemtrails being sprayed around you every day. They don't know what to do with the trash. They send the trash from New York City down here in the South or different places in the earth. The whole earth is out of course, man. The whole nature, the geese and the birds, they're supposed to fly south, but they're flying east and west now, man. So the whole earth is out of course, man. This whole earth needs to be cleansed by thermonuclear fire, man. And this place needs to be a memorial to serve for the children of Israel that we serve bondage here. And this is what happens, to the enemies of Yasha'Allah, man.
See, that's the beautiful thing. The whole earth isn't going to be get that in Ecclesiastes first chapter.
Oh yeah.
The whole earth is going to be burned and clean. It's going to be primarily the lands of America. Now there are other places of destruction, you know what I'm saying? But the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, created such a vast and expansive earth and world that they can allow this whole, I think it's like 6,000 square feet roughly around, I believe. This whole land of America from sea to shining sea will be a lake of fire.
Yeah. There's going to be a memorial.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Ecclesiastes 1:4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
See, and that's what's moving forward in this course of action, man, in which there is a generation that will be planted on earth that will be that generation that the seed of salvation is placed in, man. That's right. In which they're going to actually be able to bring some fruit back to Yahweh. Those are just that continue to go on, and with those seeds are going to be placed in the earth. They're going to be able to have their state of incubation and be able to grow and foster. and grow and be a shade, to the people, to speak in, in the spiritual sense.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the earth abided forever. So even though your house has been bringing a lot of pain and destruction and death and a lot of these things, these evils and plagues to the earth, there's still a large portion of the earth is going to be preserved and be the home base, so to speak, for the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, if I could add to your point real quick, because we always mention how Esau haven't discovered the whole earth yet. It's places where the Lord has preserved. Just until he comes, man. You know, so Esau think that whatever plan that they have. The Lord got it to where you can only go but so high in the space, and you can only go so deep in the seas, man. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah. I got a quick one.
Go ahead and bring it out, bro.
It's Sirach 10:3. An unwise king destroyeth his people,
Mm-hmm.
but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and who's that, man? The nation of Israel. We're the ones that are profitable, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And that's that verse right there is that kingdom being translated from one to up to another, man.
Mm-hmm.
As Esau getting the hell out the way
Mm-hmm.
and letting the rightful owners, take over, man.
That's right.
Which is the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
That's
Right?
right.
As long as this guy, we brought it out earlier, Proverbs 29:2, that when the wicked is in authority, the people mourn. Because he's an unwise king, man. He destroys his people. That's why
That's
he's
right.
doing the things that he's doing, trying to depopulate and push this weird ass new world order.
Hey, spot on, bro. Spot on. So I'm just gonna read the rest of this article and then we can grab any closing precepts and close out. So where's that? You back on? Okay, kind. So this is continuing on that article from popularscience.com. It says this is speaking about that $11.5 billion in which Esau has the money to shelter the poor and homeless, but he's just too selfish to dish it out and put it towards them. It says that money is urgently needed, the authors note, as it will significantly lower the national public health burden and make a huge difference to people experiencing homelessness. Folks experiencing homelessness are an incredibly vulnerable population, says Tyrone Byrne, a professor in the Department of Social Welfare Policy at Boston University. From a humanitarian and moral perspective, there's a real urgent need there. It says,
So like, if I could just say real quick, they put it out to where they basically gonna be testing people, with those with the lesser strand of the coronavirus, and they said they will give them a certain amount of money. Who you think were those people who went to get tested? The homeless, man, because they're in need.
yeah, kind. Continuing on to finish up the article, it says, this is the last paragraph. It says people experiencing, actually I think it's two paragraphs.
Yeah, two.
Yeah, two more paragraphs. It says, Matt, I'm gonna share my screen, yeah, Slack, because it's pretty important. Hey, shalom too for all your brothers on the comment board, man. The water for checking the stream out, and the water too for your precepts and encouragement on the comment board, man. It all counts and builds towards the ministry. This right here, continuing on an article, it says people experiencing homelessness can't self-isolate to avoid catching or transmitting the virus, in which we spoke about earlier, how these homeless populations are more susceptible and they catch the virus easy because they have no shelter, man. They're out here in the elements and they're forced to interact. Like it says here, they can't self-isolate. It says, which means it could spread through their communities quickly. Beyond that, and they huddle up to actually, gain resources and actually be around. People are sociable, man. It's not natural to just be by yourself for extended periods of time and not interact. It says beyond that, they are more likely to be experiencing other chronic health issues that would make them more vulnerable to the virus. As a result, I would be very worried about someone who's 50 and homeless in the same way I might be worried about somebody who's 70 in the general population, says UCSF professor of medicine Margaret Cushill. It says, and this is very important, man. This is a major takeaway that we can deliver with this lesson. It says, since Black and Indigenous Americans are significantly, that's Jake.
Mhm.
It says, since Black and Indigenous Americans are significantly overrepresented in the population of homeless people, the vulnerability of people experiencing homelessness also means that racialized Americans are also going to be disproportionately impacted by COVID-19, she says. That's Esau's way of saying this virus is projected to kill a lot of you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. Man.
That's right.
God.
Because black people, we can't get the coronavirus.
All right.
Yes, man.
Right. Hey, and that's the ignorance of our people, man. Here it is. Studies show that people with underlying health issues are more susceptible to getting it. And who has the most fucking issues, man? Negroes,
Exactly.
Latinos, and Native Americans, because they have poor diets and
Yeah.
they just don't give a damn, man. They in their YOLO spirit.
If
So
I
The
their
can,
ignorant,
immune system is goddamn little to nothing.
yeah,
hey, the ignorance of our people thought that having melanin would stop them from catching a virus, man.
right. And
That's
then
pride.
you got our people that's going around the city, around the neighborhood with an N95 mask on, but they still smoking the Newport 100 in the box or Middleton Black and Mild. That increases your chances of getting it, stupid. You know, our people don't consider their ways, man. Our people still walking around in N95 mask on, still eating Burger King and Taco Bell and McDonald's, man. Still going to the store and getting pork tenderloins, man. Our people don't consider their ways, man.
Mm-hmm. You got anything real quick?
Nah. The spirit move I had.
Okay, come get this last little bit real quick on 1 second. Just want to show love brothers on the comment board, man. And then I'm gonna get my I'm gonna share my screen one more time, bro, and wrap it up. So just to finish out, we're gonna finish out where we were earlier in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start with verse 9. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 9. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. See, this goes to show you that Esau is killing out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Esau and his practices and his processes to enact his so-called New World Order is actually killing people. That's the principle number one on Georgia Guidestones, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is to put people to death. Utilize his blessing, which is the sword. Verse 10, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So Most High Yahweh Shah is telling you that his way of not suffering you to dwell in this land of Egypt is to just let y'all go to the slaughter, man. Y'all want to serve y'all daddy Esau, y'all want to be of your father the devil, you want to believe in him and his plan and his desire to chip you and make you a full-time slave and to put you into his internet of things. Y'all go ahead and head in that direction, man.
Yeah. Hey, woe to you who go down to Egypt for help, man.
Right.
Hey, just like the example, that's a beautiful point, officer, because we've all seen the video of Jake inside the emergency room. He was the one in the emergency room, and then you wonder why they're trying to inject you with. Now you're under the guidance of the hospital now, man. Ain't no consent forms that can save you from that, man. So our people are going to these hospitals talking about some revolution when you're going to the same oppressor who bought you on cargo slave ships, man. That don't make sense, man.
Mm-hmm. Continuing on, 11.
Right.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before and will destroy all the land thereof. So these plagues that are coming to hit Egypt, that are hitting Egypt, coronavirus being a plague, man. Okay. Now, like I said, we understand, we touched on it throughout the course of the lesson. We can't really put too much trust in the Esau Edom misinformation and the numbers that he's putting out. However, we do trust in the spirit of power Yahweh God that this plague and the movement that has happened after the coronavirus hitting the earth and hitting America has pushed us forward in a mighty way toward in the effort in the direction of prophecy, man. That we're actually that much closer to the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, okay, and the downfall and destruction of this land and this captivity known as America or Babylon the Great in the Holy Scriptures.
That's right.
So, brothers, got anything to close out on?
Nah, I just wanted to add. I was just looking up the death toll supposedly for the day. Hey, Esau is scaring these folks shitless, man. Over 1,000, supposedly 1,300 people died just today alone.
Just in one day.
Now
It was over
right.
500 cases, people who died in New York over the night.
Damn. See, hey, and we don't know how true the numbers are, but Esau is scaring the people shitless with these kind of numbers. 1,300 in one day. I don't even recall seeing Italy and these other nations like Spain ever, going over 1,012 or 1,200 deaths in a day.
Damn.
So, hey, the homeless people, man, they probably have a big number to play, a role to play in that number, man.
Yeah, the homeless, they're gonna be some of the first round draft picks.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Hey, the homeless gonna be some first round draft picks for principle number 1. Hey, but anybody else have anything else to add before we close out?
Allah.
All right, kind of the YT brothers coming into the lesson, man. So we're gonna close out. Before we close out, we're gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Dash. Double irons to our apostles and elders, great millstone to lead, teach and rule well. Love and honor to our occupants, very true faith, and see across the four corners. Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.